You don't attract disrespect, you actually tolerate it unconsciously. So today we're going to go over 1 out of the 7 inner laws for personal power. My mission is to go help everybody that has been codependent or kind of like a doormat identity to becoming confident and taking their power back. In the upcoming book that I'm working on, I do talk about the 7 most important inner laws of personal power. Now, when I'm talking about 7 is that you can apply 1, but if you don't apply all of them, then it doesn't work. You can apply 2, 3, 4, 5, but if you don't apply all of them, again, it's just gonna crumble apart. So today, one of the important ones are boundaries. So every action you take or you don't take comes from how you see yourself. So usually I talk about my story, but I feel like this time I would love to utilize my husband and his story and how I've seen him grow since the day I've met him. And I feel like for me, I did a lot of deep work before meeting him. When I met him, I felt like he was where I was years ago. He says, nah, I've been working on myself, but I can tell because I was there and I know what boundaries are and I apply them literally every day. So boundaries to me is like a healthy lifestyle. It's self-love, self-care. It's a way of living with like peace, internal peace. Let me tell you why. So boundaries. So when I met my husband, he is a people pleaser. It's really hard for him to say no. He would always overwork. He would have this long ass to-do list. I would always see him stressed, scrambling around. And I would tell him like, babe, it's so simple. Like, all you have to do is be aware of how you're living life, what you're taking on, what you're saying yes to, what you're saying no to, what you're prioritizing. So with using him as an example is like what I saw is life. So that's it. This is him, life around him was just pulling him this way and that way, like chaos. He had no time. He had no energy. He was drained by 5 p.m. He didn't want to go out. He didn't want to walk the dogs. He always had something to do, even on the weekends. So he would rarely have time for himself. I always found him on the phone, picking up phone calls, text messages, working, boom, 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 right? Go, 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 go all day, draining, answering to everyone. So over time, one important thing. So his daughters, especially the youngest one, he was always disrespecting them. And he wasn't there for a while in their life. But I've met other children where, they don't resent that. They understand, but his daughter has not been understanding. So she's always coming from a place like, you owe me. So you need to do this. You need to do that. So with him, because of the guilt and shame behind like the past, he's like, yes, yes, to the girl, right? To the 16-year-old, 17-year-old. And I would always see him like, why do you get disrespected like that? Like, well, I wasn't there for them and I feel like I owe them. And I'm like, okay, I can understand. But at the same time, you are not being of service. So boundaries are actually self-care, where it's self-respect, self-love, and there are certain behaviors, things, circumstances that you don't want to allow into you to suck you out of that, you know? The reason why is because it's going to drain you. You're going to be stressed. You're not going to have time for you. You don't feel rested. You're always in here thinking about what's next. You're not present. You're not showing up for your partner, potentially your kids. Like you're half-assing everything. And that is coming from a place of not setting boundaries, right? So I understand that setting boundaries can be challenging. But you gotta ask yourself, like, is this how you want to live your life? You know, like for me, I don't want that life. Like, sometimes we get caught up in, I'm scared to say no. But like me, I'm like, well, what would I be more scared of? Would I be more scared to say no? Or would I be more scared to stay where I'm saying yes, 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 and then I hate everybody because they're disrespectful and they're using me? You know what I mean? So what is the cost of not setting boundaries? And I would have this conversation with my husband over time and be like, babe, what is the cost? You are feeling shameful, guilty, whatever. She puts you down. Instead of you saying, no, I'm here for you now. Let's work this through. Or let's say your job, I only work from this time to this time. If you need me, if you're towards the end of the day, you can call me the next day. Or your friends, yes, I want to hang out with you, but not today or not this weekend. Can we talk about maybe potentially next month? Or, yes, I want to help you move. However, I know it's almost the weekend. I need at least 2 weeks in advance to put it in my calendar. You see, so you're not really saying no, you're saying yes differently. So that's how I was telling my husband to like start setting boundaries with people. And I kind of encourage him. So maybe sometimes at the beginning, you don't have to do it alone. Some of us did have to. Me, I reached the point where I had enough. Like, fuck the bullshit. I was done. And I used the anger and the resentment. And I said, never again. And I used that as fuel to be like, no. Even though I felt guilty right after. And then I used that to say, maybe tomorrow, but not today. And I use that to say, I'm sorry, we can't be friends anymore. And then I told my parents, I love you, but it's my time to make my decisions. Whether they're right or wrong, I'm going to learn. You know, let me be. Just love me from a distance and be there for me if you want. But I was done letting everybody design my life. I was done with everybody butting in my schedule. I was done with everybody, me trying to save them, give them a ride, be there for them, listen to them. No, what about me? Or let's say, what about my husband? He's like, I'm waiting for him. I want to be present with him. I want to have really nice, purposeful conversation. I see his dog and I'm like, yo, you don't have time. You don't have energy, not even to walk the one thing you love, your dog, right? You're not here to help me with the house. So to me, it's like, what kind of life, quality of life do you want to live? And at the end of the day is boundaries. I feel like it's my number one thing, where how you set boundaries with your job, with your friends, with your inner circle, with your partner in a kind way, and be like, you know what? I really don't want to do that today. Maybe in another lifetime. And getting comfortable saying that, you are going to experience the ultimate freedom. And then again, when you start applying all of this and it feels really scary, I promise you, always ask yourself, do I want to keep feeling and being treated like this day after day? Or can I just get a little bit more uncomfortable and a little bit scary, but you know on the other side is freedom? So to me, that was already freedom. Like, you know what, I'm going to go through the mud, say no, declutter, get rid of everything and everyone. I'm good. I hope this helps. Again, it is going to be hard, but what's harder? Not doing it or actually doing it? So don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you around. Have a good day.